me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
That's the whole point of Parks and Recreation. And I think a lot of people that come in here, that come into the profession for just a paycheck, they miss that. You have to have a passion to be able to do Parks and Recreation. Every single professional that you'll come up to, that you see at the conferences, that you see out there, they have a passion for what they do. They're not just here for a paycheck. Their goal is to make lives better. That's the most rewarding part of it.
Welcome to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, where we bring you the latest from the world of recreation and community building. And today we're incredibly excited for a special segment, the Rec Room. We're honored to host the passionate leadership team from Henry County, Georgia Parks and Recreation, including Katrina Wagner, Donna Holder, Thomas White, Bryan Dixon, James Bull Martin, and Kevin K.P. Patterson. Henry County Parks and Rec is making waves, recognized as one of the most well-run departments in America. They operate with family-like unity, deeply attuned to their community, always striving for excellence to provide what's next. This dynamic department offers diverse programs through beautifully maintained parks and facilities. They champion initiatives like the Watering Can Mentoring Program, teaching valuable trade skills. At centers like Fairview, led by Bull Martin, they offer essential community programs from midnight basketball to therapeutic recreation like the Blaze Sport Program for veterans, showcasing dedication to inclusivity for all. Join us as this exceptional team shares their passion for building stronger communities, proving that in Henry County, purpose truly meets play. Let's dive in.
All right, we are live again. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Henry family. I think y'all just need a last name. We're just going to call y'all all the Henrys because this is truly a remarkable group of people that is running, in my opinion, one of the most well-run Parks and Rec departments. They govern it just like a family would. They're really in tune with each other and a lot of the problems that they have, and a lot of how you can maybe even face burnout in Parks and Recreation because you've never seen a night and weekend or holiday anymore. But they just manage it with such grace, and they have a very strong leader who has broken his foot, from what I hear recently, trying to serve this community. So this is a monthly show called The Rec Room, and it's hosted by all the talent at the top of Henry County, Georgia. And it's every second Wednesday, same time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, second Wednesday. And so it's just a privilege to help them produce this podcast and showcase what an awesome team looks like. And they keep it real. So it's not about just pretending we got it all together. You get to see all the sausage making into the back. And they do a great job at just keeping it fun and light and doing a great job running their park system. So I'm going to run a quick promo for the entire show and media company, kind of explain what we're doing. And of course, this team right here made the highlight reel during it. And then we'll come back and Thomas White will take over and start our second episode of The Rec Room. So hold on one second.
Welcome to DPRS Media Co., the first media company built for the people behind the Parks and Rec community. We don't just cover on Parks and Rec, we elevate it, we amplify it, we honor it. At the heart of everything we do is one mission: to serve the public servants, the professionals who design, maintain, and lead the parks that shape our communities. Under the Daily Parks and Rec Show, we produce 6 powerful platforms. Leadership in Parks and Rec, a spotlight on directors, superintendents, and visionaries shaping the future of public spaces. Facility maintenance, where the boots hit the ground, a deep dive into the systems, crews, and craftsmanship that keep our parks clean, safe, and beautiful. Young Professionals Network, shining a light on the next generation of Parks and Rec. Students, interns, and mentors sharing how we build a legacy together. Youth Sports Mastery, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. This series is for coaches, parents, and rec leaders working to make youth sports fun, fair, and meaningful again. The Rec Room, hosted by the passionate leaders of Henry County Parks and Rec. This show brings frontline energy and real-life stories from the field. and the weekly Parks and Rec Post, our official newsletter delivering stories, insights, and community wins every week. We are DPRS Media Co. LLC, a media company with a mission to uplift the professionals who serve every community, every park, every day.
All right, so we have an awesome show ready for y'all. Thomas, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Man, I am so excited, Craig. We have been looking forward to this all day, and I say all day because we didn't know JP was not going to be here until he broke his foot at 5 a.m. this morning. JP, that's what you get for playing basketball in your 40s and trying to be like you're 20 again. So I'm going to pay for that later, but that's okay. I wanted to make sure that I started it off with a great joke. I did tell him it was coming, but that's okay. We have two new people with us today, and I want to introduce them. Katrina Wagner, our special events coordinator, and James Bull Martin, we call him Bull, who is our supervisor at the Fairview Recreation Center. So let's hear a little bit from them. Tell us about yourself. Katrina, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Katrina Wagner. I'm the Special Events Coordinator for Henry County Parks and Rec. A little bit about me. I'm a grandmother of 6, married with 2 kids. I'm a resident of Henry County. I've raised my kids here. I love my community, and this is my outlet to serve my community.
Bull.
Well, I'm the facility coordinator / supervisor up at Fairview Rec Center. I just look forward to going to work every day, meeting the needs of the public, following our leadership visions. You know, we all sit down and we get our vision from our leadership, and we talk to our community, and they talk back to us, and we make things happen. Little background: played a little basketball back in my day. Stopped playing around about 2000 professionally, and got into Parks and Rec, and that's why this is my way of giving back to my community. I have no idea that I would come to Parks and Rec, you know, and actually begin to love it the way I did. So been here 21 years as of the 5th of July. That's a great thing.
So we've got some unique things about Katrina and Bull that I knew that they weren't going to talk about, and that's going to lead us into what we're doing today. Katrina actually started as a facility attendant. She worked rarely when we had events, maybe every other weekend. She would come in when we had events and help us out at our events and rentals. And then when I started as special event coordinator, and if you'll remember from our last episode, I am either the worst or second worst special event coordinator in the history of Parks and Recreation. It was just Henry County, but we have done some research, and we think that I may have been either the worst or second worst in the history of Parks and Recreation, not just Henry County. And Katrina came in to start helping me with some of the stuff. And then when I got promoted, we needed an after-school supervisor because I didn't want to do it. So I got Katrina to come in and do it, so I didn't have to. Thank you, Katrina. Big part there for me. And she came in and she stepped up, and wow, did she show us what she got. Like her skill, her enthusiasm, her passion, and we convinced her to go full time, and she's regretted it ever since. And then Bull here, we just did an article with him probably 6 months to a year ago in the GRPA magazine about his commitment to the community. I am over every rec center in Henry County, our tennis center and our classroom facilities that we do, and 90 to 100 programs, and I can honestly say that I can keep track with almost all of them, except for Fairview Recreation Center. I don't have a clue what he's doing there most of the time, and that's because what he does, he runs it as a community-focused center. I guarantee you half the people that come to that rec center don't pay any fees. He just wants them. He doesn't want them on the street. He wants the young people in there, learning from each other, being with each other, and being in a safe space. Am I right, everybody else? Weigh in here. Donna, you've been here the longest. You've seen them both mature over time. Bryan?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bull has always been in the trenches in that area for sure.
So Bull fires people every day. They never actually listen to him. They come back immediately after he fires them. So he's going to fire somebody at this point in the podcast. But before we get into that, before he fires something, I told you about their unique story. But one thing that we try to do at Henry County Parks and Rec, and it's the reason that we say that we're the best ran department in the nation. It's the reason that we try to fight for that title. It's not because we have a lot of money. Obviously, we can't keep up with the people that have billion-dollar budgets. It's not going to happen. The bigger cities like New York and DC, they're always going to be able to do things that we can't. But the people that you see on this panel, I guarantee you will outwork anybody else in the Parks and Recreation field. Not me, the other 5 of them. They will outwork everybody else in the field to the point of exhaustion just to make sure that they give everything that the community needs. And that led us to the creation of one of our flagship programs that leads into our alternative program, and that's the Watering Can Mentoring Program. Bryan, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the Watering Can Mentorship Program started 3 years ago. We're in our 3rd season. We're actually in our 5th week last night. We had about 20 to 30 kids in small groups working on changing tires, pulling information off of tires that they didn't know existed, how to plug tires. Each class is geared around something the water towards like trade skills, whether it be small engines, whether it be construction. We try to alternate those things so that it didn't get stale. They're also working on like their own custom cornhole boards, so that's exciting. And then you'd be surprised how many like parents stick around because they want to learn how to read tape too. So it's been something that has been a true blessing for our department, my staff. The team building aspect of it has been something that was unintentional. It has made our group that much more close knit and creative, and that translates over into the execution portion of what we do. So there it is. The Watering Can.
But just to piggyback on what Bryan just said, there's an outlet for kids that don't play baseball, basketball, football, like the traditional sports in Parks and Rec. Here's something that they can do and be good at, or learn a trade and be good at, and never pick up a ball a day in their life, but they learning a trade from Bryan and his guys and getting those skill sets to be successful in life. And like you just said, learning team building skills without the sport aspect to it. So that's the unique about our department and what we do and what we try to bring to our community. But it ain't always about sports with us. We find other ways to give that team atmosphere around in our community.
Thomas, I think I think Bryan wanted the big heart for that explanation as well.
I love you, man. I love you. So even somebody with the vast athletic experience that I have and the great background in multiple sports, my baseball, that ball I caught that one time, my year playing football, my vast experience in athletics, even I can benefit from the Watering Can. But probably the most unique thing about Watering Can is, yes, we teach kids trade skills that they're going to learn, that they're going to need all their life, that are not common knowledge anymore. Katrina, you may want to turn on your other light in there, by the way. It's casting a shadow over your face. But anyway, like I was saying, the real unique thing is about how it started. It started with an admin assistant. Her name was Kimberly Washington. She's no longer an admin assistant with us. She's now the assistant to the county manager. But she came up with the idea of Watering Can. And Bryan kind of evolved it into what he wanted it to be. What'd you do with that, Bryan?
So we sat down and built like a lesson plan, like any educator would do, and built that out for a 7-week, 8-week time period. And all the instructors come from our staff. Most of them are part of my leadership team, and they lead different sessions. Like the first year it was carpentry and tires and things like that. But individually, there's a connection between the kid and the staff member. And it's become repeated over time that now we identify faces and names. And there's a few of them who I was telling them last night, I said, man, you turned 17. They're like, yeah. I said, man, come up here and get an application when you turn 17, because they've been in the program for 3 years. And I know that they have the basic needs of what it takes to get going here. So it's just kind of evolved from a classroom setting into something much more grand. And the guys are extremely proud of it. I mean, to the point where they kick me out. I'm just there to take photos, and it's all led by them. And every aspect of it's taken over by my leadership team.
Frankly, let's face it, Bryan, were you really doing that much anyway? Just keep that in mind. Just keep that.
That's really to contribute to our leadership, because one thing about us, our leadership trusts us, and that's the beauty in it. On the north end of the county, hey, Bull is your baby, your project, and they say, hey, whatever goes on, you fix it, you deal with it. Just like Bryan, like you said, we come up with ideas for the community that we're going to meet the needs of the community at whatever it costs. So that's the beauty in it. But our leadership, they really trust us, even though we like that. We like that trusting thing.
Just don't make us regret it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Though Donna can really speak to that a lot more than I can, because I've only been in the leadership position with Parks and Rec. December I've been 2.5 years in a deputy administrator position, and I can say my philosophy, though, even before I got with Parks and Rec and worked with state government, it's always been you have to empower and trust the people that you work with. And Donna, you have taught me a lot about that.
Yes, we're very proud. We turn our people loose and they keep us informed. We keep them informed, and communication is a key factor in all that. We try to communicate as often as we can in as many ways as we can. And just to piggyback on the mentoring program, watching the kids soak in those skills that they need to learn, life skills, is amazing to watch. But to me, it's also amazing to watch our park leadership grow in teaching those teens what to do in those life skills. You can tell now they're more prepared to go in front of a group of peers and tell them about their techniques and how we do our work here. And they're so much more comfortable after they've been teaching these teens to teach their peers and other people throughout the state. So we're very proud of our parks leadership for taking this mentorship program on as a program which they don't typically do, and they have done an amazing job for the last 3 years with it. We're so proud. And our leadership, most definitely. And our leadership here, like I said, we try
We're
to
gonna have to work on
free
the hearts.
rein.
Like, we got to get on the same page with the heart motions. Next episode. Sorry, go ahead.
But we do try to let people take the reins and go and see what they come up with. And lots of times we are amazed what they come back with. So.
And one of the things that really, I think, is a testament to it is, and Don, all of you actually can, KP, you started at the same time I did, but all of you have been in the department longer than KP and I. You've seen the transition over the past 4 or 5 years. Would you expect that your staff now would be speaking at conferences? Last year, we did 12 presentations at the state conference last year. And how many had we done in years before that, the collective whole? What have you seen with that transformation? Because I think Watering Can is the product of that transformation. So what has it been? What has that transformation been over the past 4 or 5 years? What have you seen?
I think what Donna said, I mean, you see people become more comfortable in their skin. I mean, we got people that are writing articles. We got people that are stepping up in front of a room full of 30 of their peers from agencies all over the state that are confidently speaking about the topic. And rightfully so, because they understand what's going on in this industry probably better than anyone. Our group is so diverse and independent from each other. I mean, ideas come from everybody. They're just something impressive to watch sometimes from a distance. I get some credit, but like it literally like watching something on autopilot, and then every day it just gets a little better. But you know what we do.
Yeah, that's absolute. I mean, we got a great foundation, you know, from late Tim Coley. You know, he started the foundation when we was in trailers, and then, you know, to bring JP up under this leadership, and he shared his vision along with the county manager when they had a vision. And actually, Thomas really put it out there, like in NJ Penn, we're going to be the #1 rec center, not just in Georgia. We probably are in Georgia for sure, but we trying to get this thing #1 nationally, so that when people talk or speak about Parks and Rec, they can look at us and say, hey, that's the blueprint to success right there. And that's always been our goal. And that's been that's what our leadership have always pushed. We're gonna be the best. And I mean, as crazy as Thomas is, I mean, he got a good point there. And that's what we push every single day to our people that's up on us. You know, we strive for excellence every day. You know, we're gonna make it happen.
And honestly, I think that striving, that's what the difference is. Like, we know what our goal is going to be. No matter what we do, it's not going to be good enough. We're ready to take it to the next level because that's what our residents deserve. They deserve what's next. They don't deserve the current. We thought we lost you there, Craig. We got scared for a second.
No, actually, well, I was letting y'all, you know, because it's y'all's show, and y'all are really what we want to showcase here. But just to,
You're the calming presence that keeps us going.
on top of what
Yeah.
James said, it's like I'd rather fail at trying to be the best than succeed at not trying to be the best. And so just the fact that it is just part of the culture that JP and the rest of you guys are embracing. I mean, I got a big shot at doing it, and I love you know, highlighting everything y'all are doing. So I'll hop back off so that y'all can keep going.
No, don't leave us. You're our calming presence.
I'll be here then.
Okay.
I mean, but
Katrina, you haven't spoken very much.
It goes back to that standard, Thomas. Thomas goes back to the standard, setting the standard. With every special event, with every program, we set a standard, and then the next year we're trying to surpass the standard we've already set. So, like Boyd just said, we always pushing the envelope to be great. Because of the standard and the vision that JP and our leadership has put out there for us to see and to attain. We have a standard.
And I think we all agree that I am the standard that we should have tried to achieve. I constantly put that bar up there. I'm pretty sure that everybody agrees with that.
No, Bull is the standard. I won't be like Bull.
I'm the standard.
Do I have power to mute people on here? I need to be able to do that. Katrina, you haven't said very much.
I'm the standard, Thomas. I'm the standard. I set the standard.
Okay, we can discuss that.
So
we can discuss that later, and I'll tell y'all how wrong you are.
So I brought some evidence against Katrina today. If y'all want to see that? I'd like to. Yeah. So I'd like to explain to everyone about events since Katrina's here and how events flow, and give y'all a little bit of the background, I guess. So while I was on vacation, our deputy director and Miss Katrina Wagner here, they get with our staff and they create inventory lists of all our stuff, right?
So that
That's what you get for going on vacation.
And then from there, watch this. Oh, I'm not done. From there, when I get back, I get emails of lists of things and then we assign those things because Katrina and the event staff do such a phenomenal job. We hosted a hot summer fest at Echo Speedway over at Hampton, Georgia, and then they will create things like this so we know where to put all the things that they request. So we start putting those things out, And then they do a fabulous job of breaking down our staff and getting everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone.
Explain it for those that are just listening. He's going through pages and pages and pages of paper assignments where staff have been assigned to different things. And I've got another list I'm about to send to you too, Bryan. But
Thanks.
But y'all see how
Well, you
well we
did.
communicate. You see how well that communication is, Bryan. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
We made it happen.
no, don't get me started on communication. Last month, we had this whole argument about wearing blue shirts. I was in a gray suit. None of you were wearing. Katrina wasn't even supposed to be on here today, and she's wearing a blue shirt. But the rest of us, I had a blue shirt, but I saw what y'all were wearing today. I put on something different.
Yeah, and Katrina, when I had my interview with Bryan on the beach, he asked me, because he knew we were talking, if you had maybe come up with a couple more special events for him to manage this year. He was looking forward to that.
Absolutely. That's what
Don't
I was
get me
just showing
started.
up with my new list.
You did 3 in one day a few months ago. We had
Yeah.
the parade, we had the soapbox derby, and you had the movie immediately after. You did 3 in one day. I only stayed for 2, but you were there from 8 a.m. in the morning until late that night.
With maintenance, just like a hot
That's
summer.
right. That's right. Yeah, she actually in our schedule, in our events calendar, she actually was able to sneak one more Movie Under the Stars event on me, just this week. Katrina, you want to tell us about that?
Yep, we're gonna do
There's probably
it.
some things we shouldn't tell the story of. Let me just interrupt before we go down that rabbit hole and we all lose our jobs. There are some things we probably shouldn't tell the story on. Yeah, let's just not go there with that. Yeah,
Agreed.
I will say that I am usually at most of the special events I'm at. My primary job is parking and driving people. Other than that, they handle everything else. And so
Barely know how to
Bryan,
park, and you drive people nuts. Okay, that's about the only parking and driving you do.
Yes, Thomas puts the special in special events.
Absolutely.
That's right. I do. I put the special in special events. Can we get back to the watering can, please? Y'all have gotten us way off topic. We were talking about the things that made us go and made us unique, and during the change.
I've seen change in the last 5 years, Thomas.
Well, what have you seen? What do you attribute to the change? We got about 2.5 minutes before we take our break. So
I have young people come up to me constantly talking about their dreams of being in Parks and Recs and to being in this field because of the things that we have accomplished in the last 5 years. From the watering can, from seeing that it's achievable and right there at their hands, seeing that we care enough to look in all aspects, not just the ones that can play ball good, but the ones that can play Pokemon or that can play chess, homeschooled, all of the different avenues, and we try to become as inclusive as possible. And I believe that that's what I've seen change is the pride that they have when they see us, the things they come up and say to us, the hugs of thank you for serving this community. That's the growth that I've seen.
Absolutely. And I'll piggyback on that. Like I said, we've had kids come through our summer program, our after school program, our athletic programs, and then they're employees of the county. We have quite a few of those. So that's the beauty in knowing that we're doing something great to see that paid back to us. So that's the beauty in it.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of Parks and Recreation. And I think a lot of people that come in here, that come into the profession for just a paycheck, they miss that. You have to have a passion to be able to do Parks and Recreation. Every single professional that you'll come up to, that you see at the conferences, that you see out there, they have a passion for what they do. They're not just here for a paycheck. Their goal is to make lives better. That's the most rewarding part of it. There's the extrinsic reward, sure, of you get a paycheck, but that intrinsic reward that you get of making a life better, making something change, that in itself, it's everything. It's why I wanted to come to Parks and Recreation. It's why I've stayed in Parks and recreation, despite all the abuse that you all put upon me and everything, and not respecting my parking and driving. But I know, Craig, we're about to go to a break, right?
Yeah, we can. So I wanted to promote and Kevin, we need to get you on our Thursday show. It's all about youth sports. Shout out to my host, Aaron Locks. He's been doing this for 40 years. And so we decided we need to dedicate an entire weekly show just to youth sports and really the part of the industry that Kevin's dedicated his whole life to, because it's such a critical part of what we do in Parks and Recreation. So we'll run a little promo here. And then for those of you that wanted to give something special to Thomas, though, I think he loves pickles. So if y'all can just post his address so that people across America can
man,
send.
come on, man.
I got the address.
Wow.
I'll send the address.
That's what Bull told me
Wow.
offline. He was like, "Don't forget to send Thomas lots of pickles." Okay.
Bobby's still in the room, isn't she, Bull? That's what's going on. Bobby's still in the room.
I have no idea.
All right, we'll play this and come right back.
At DPRS Media Co., we don't just create content, we elevate community through storytelling. Now, we're proud to introduce the newest addition to the family. Welcome to Youth Sports Mastery, the podcast where champions are shaped, not just on the field, but in life. Hosted by National Academy of Athletics founder Aaron Locks. Youth Sports Mastery dives deep into how youth sports can empower kids, strengthen communities, and build leaders. From coaching culture to recreation strategy, and from player development to parent impact, every episode brings game-ready insight from the people making it happen. Youth Sports Mastery goes live every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. And powered by DPRS Media Co. This is where purpose meets play.
All right. So yeah, Kevin has dedicated his whole life to that part of Parks and Recreation. But Thomas, you want to go ahead and continue with the what were we talking about? Shipping pickles?
I do want to point out again, I actually do have the vast athletic experience, and I'd be happy to share that at any time. Just give me a call. I am respected in the office as the sports expert. And I threw a football one time, and it made a spiral that one time. So
we refer to Bull as the best coach alive, and I don't think Bull can coach Thomas in any athletics to make him great.
Yeah, he broke the record. If you can walk and shoot bubble, I got you. I can teach you until I met Thomas, and then the rest of it is history.
Hey, at least I didn't break my foot at 5 a.m. playing basketball. I just want to say that's a good point.
He is injury free, and that's a big part of athletics is remaining injury free.
If you notice, every time Thomas speak, he only did something one time. He threw one spare, caught one pass. He only did something one time. So that's
it only takes once to be a success. It only takes once to be a success.
That's it. Even the towel boy get championship ring. You're absolutely right.
Except
they wouldn't even let me be the towel boy.
Except when it comes to pickles. On that, you need repetition. You got to get in the reps.
I do not like how this show is turning out. This is not going in a good direction for me. So let's go on to something else, why don't we? Let's talk about some of our other stuff that's coming up. Bull, you do a lot of unique things up at Fairview. Why do you do that? Because I think that's something we need to capture. Like, what do you do and why?
One of the things we heavy in basketball, but now we have brought music up there. Now we are doing some acting things. You know, we got Henry for Music kids coming up there doing string. We listen to what their needs are. We are bringing different variety of events up there. On that north end of the county, we are bringing lacrosse up there now for Village United Park. We have the football going on up there now at Village Park. And then the basketball arena, we're doing midnight basketball now. Again, this means, taking the time out to meet the needs of the community. With our youth sports going on during the weekdays, we have practice and we have games on weekends. So we take away from the members that actually come in and play basketball. So we offset that. We'll sacrifice 8:30 to 10:30 time. I'd rather have them in the gym playing basketball, than in the streets breaking in cars. So our age groups is from like ages 20 to like 34. So those guys are out there, playing basketball. So they get a chance to get a couple hours in uninterrupted, get a chance to go out there. And also we have the pickleball going on the other side of the gym for the people that works, and don't get off until 6 o'clock, things like that. They can come in at 8:30 to 10:30. So we have about, 35 basketball players every night and about 35, pickleball players every night. So it's a success right now. We've been doing it now for about 2 months, and it's going really well. And those are the things that we do. Again, just listening to what the community need. We had people talking about, they don't get off work in time to get here in the mornings. So we implemented it, just listen to the community and saying, hey, we're going to meet that need. Some shape, form, and fashion. We tested it, and it's too successful because now I got to be up there every Tuesday and Thursday night. But we enjoy it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we run into, and it's important what you bring up. We talk about the good things we're doing, and we talk about, but we need work. There are things that we can do better. And everybody has a hole where they're not doing enough. One of our key demographics that we're not meeting is, and this is a trouble with a lot of Parks and Rec departments, it's not just us, and we've got to figure out how to breach that, is the teenage area, from, I would say, 12 to maybe 22. We've got a teenage young adult where we have trouble reaching them. They're either involved in high school, involved in college, something like that is distracting them. And we've got to do more to reach that group. And Watering Can has helped some with the younger teens in engaging that. But I think Bull is in the most unique position, being at Fairview and having the gym and being able to reach some of those. And that's one of your passions, right, Bull?
Absolutely. We actually did a conflict resolution class, how to resolve conflict. So we started that program out, and we actually had a good group of guys to come in. And that's how we got into the midnight basketball. That's how we got into the music for Henry, so that people, like KP said earlier, everybody don't play basketball. Everybody don't play football. What is it you like to do? Some of those kids now we can trickle down to Bryan, because our goal is to keep them off. I mean, we got kids, I guess because of who we are and what people have heard of us now going forward, we get people coming in every night from Clayton County. We get DeKalb up in the north end. We border Clayton and Henry and DeKalb. Also, we got 3 counties. So we get those DeKalb kids that straddle that line. We got the Clayton kid that straddle that line. And they come in, they have a good experience. And the only thing about having great experience, they bring more. So then we're going to cater to them. We're going to still service those guys and those people, And that's one of the reasons why, we started the conflict resolution class. We started, the midnight basketballs, because they said, man, I've been in trouble. If I was out there in the streets, man, I'd be doing something crazy. A couple of years ago, we found out about the gangs that's up in that area, and we started digging into the high schools, even before we opened up Mount Carmel, we had talked with the chief. Those kids have come to basketball camp. In my position that I'm in, I get a chance to see all the kids because I do basketball camps, and I'm familiar with all the kids in high school and middle school. So I get the chance to see them, and then they trust me and they come and have these conversations with me. So then again, our leadership, the Donna, the KPs, we go and, hey, let's have this conversation, man, because this is what's going on. These kids, need something to do. What can we do? And then here we go as a team, and our leadership, hey, let's pick it up. Let's start these programs. That's how you come up what Bryan do, what KP does, and we make these things happen because we pay attention to it.
And you do an outstanding job. That's what I mean when we say that Fairview is ran different than some of our other rec centers. And it's because we have an opportunity there to reach kids that we may not have at other rec centers. There's a higher youth population there. Some of our other rec centers, they're more on the senior side or middle-aged side adults. You've got some younger kids that may come in, but mostly it's adults and senior adults that come into a couple of our other rec centers that may be built the same as Fairview. Fairview is unique in that it has that it's a walkable rec center that's near a lot of housing, and a lot of young people can come to it if we just offer it to them. And that's why we say that it's unique there, because you think about fees that you pay to use the rec center. Bull would rather have somebody in there playing basketball and not being on the street than worrying about that fee that they pay. And so that's something. Now, we're not saying come to the rec center at Fairview, you're not going to have to pay the fee. That's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. But it does illustrate our mission and what we're trying to do.
Yeah, you'll
And
be
boy, you make
amazed at it's amazing how the people actually police the building. I mean, there's no fights, no breakout. I mean, they're literally like, hey man, Coach Bull, number one, don't play. But number two, it's like, hey man, he will shut these doors and we're done. So we can't do this. So when you start, affecting them that way, and they getting that message that, hey, this is a place, a safe place, a safe haven. This is somewhere we can go, relax and play and interact. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing to actually see guys, because once we start asking the younger cats to leave, some of them still want to hang around. I'll be like, nah, y'all got to go to school. Y'all got to go to class. So now we're in the summertime. I still allow those guys to stay. Like last night, we had about 10 kids that's between that 16 to 17. So I let them stay in last night just to play against some of the older cats. And man, we be working out over here. So we make it a competition type thing too. So we have fun with it. But again, it's such a privilege just to watch those young cats come in and have these conversations, because we have round table conversations up there about everything, because I want to be in the loop with what's going on. So I ask the tough questions, about the weed, the gangs. We ask the tough question. They actually give me feedback. So they keep me in the loop on what's going on. I mean, even when a guy get out of hand and say, a little squirmish or somebody to break out, they'll come and say, hey man, he was wrong, Coach Bull. And they'll do it right there in front of, he started this mess. He was cutting the food. I mean, hey man, I'm gonna suspend you for 5 days because you know better, you know the rules and this. So they police each other, hold each other accountable. But the beauty of it is, to watch them come together and say, man, Coach Bull gonna get you if this is wrong. So, I love to see that the building actually running itself with the members and the people that's there.
And it needs to run itself because he fires half his staff every day.
Man, and I send the pink slips down to Donna every single day, and these people show up to Craig. I don't understand. You tell people to get off the clock, man, and then you send the pink slip down, and then they show up the next day like I ain't said a word.
I don't know what happens to those. I really don't. I process every one of them. But Bull's to be commended too. He opens up the rec center and his heart when we have emergency situations. His rec center is also an emergency shelter at times when it's hot, when it's cold, when there's a natural disaster nearby. And they just jump in and have everything ready to go at a moment's notice. And we really appreciate that. And he has quite known in the elections department too, because his site's also used for elections for a good bit of the time each year. So Bull has a lot of variety going on up at the Fairview Rec Center, and we really do appreciate him. And he also has tell us about your archery and some of the other programs you had up there, Bull.
Yeah, we got involved with Blaze Sport about 5 years ago. I had no idea the veterans didn't have places that they can go and actually do the archery, and they do the what I call air rifle shooting, and they be in actually competition. So the guy came in, looking for, a place, and I'm sitting here like, hold up, you talking about people with PTSD, all the stuff that goes on with that. So I dug in, did a little research, and found out about Blaze Sport. So they came in and they gave me, the information and stuff, and we actually put it together. And in that, you start having conversation with your veterans and things like that. Everybody that's a part of the program when it comes to the archery and the air rifle, they had been in the military serving, and most of them have a condition, and we met that need. That again, our community talking to us and speaking to us, and we reached out and we made it happen. They had about 20 people with the archery and about 30 with the air rifle. And I had no idea that they was competing nationally. You know, they would come in and sit the gym up like a gun range. They put the big curtains up and they put their targets up, and you actually go in and learn what they do. What was interesting for me is I asked them, a couple times, I would go in there and people would have the air rifle. They would not allow them in the gym. And he was saying to me, the guy that was running at the time was saying, okay, he's one of these guys today. He ain't feeling himself. He didn't go into full detail. He's just like, he's not feeling himself. And I'm sitting here like, okay, God, don't let nobody go off in my building now. I got too many staff members here, things like that. But it went really well. And we have built now a base with them. And, we built a great line of communication. So they actually comes in, they don't do it during the summer because we have, summer camps and things like that. But that program is very elite. I mean, you have people who now they're in the top tier in their age groups and in their class doing those things. So I look forward to just, conversating with, and all of them pretty much as veterans, so, and seniors, veterans and things like that. And still being active. We have even some that have, deficiency handicaps, and they still out there shooting, because we got one that actually shoot the arrow with his mouth. That's a different thing too. So I just love it. And we have our kids in there watching it as well, so they can learn about archery. We have, where they can come in and see and interact, and they get excited. But we ain't gonna put them guns and rifles in there.
Craig, imagine my shock when I first walked into Fairview, having no idea this was going on. And I walk in and there are air rifles and bow and arrows. I walked in and just turned around and left. Figured we'd talk about it later. Bull sent me an email later on. It was fine.
Everything is a tester. That's all. We test everything up there first, and then when it becomes a success, then we'll pass it on.
And that really is what we do want to do. We want to try to emulate this because we're getting newer housing, a younger group coming to our center, our JP Mosley Center. We have just opened up North Mount Carmel Rec Center, and so we're just tapping into that. So we want to take a lot of what Bull is doing at Fairview to attract the younger groups in and make that happen and emulate that at some of our other centers. And each one of our coordinators, Brandy Daly, Terry Nash, who is also our therapeutic recreation coordinator, and Cassinius Moore, they all have unique ideas on things that they're going to do. And we look forward to talking to them in the future. But obviously we could talk all day right now, but we got to kind of wrap it up. I would like, Bull, if you could do something for me. Directly behind you on the wall is a whiteboard that is covered up by a cabinet. If you could open the right cabinet door, Bull, I would appreciate it. So that right cabinet door has a list of ideas that we came up with. And the consultants that had us when we did that told us, you got 15 minutes. Most everybody came up with 5 or so ideas. We came up with 107 ideas that we still have listed up there in a 15-minute period. And that's a lot of what we try to go by. We have so much that we want to bring to our community because we get ideas from so many different people. And we've got somebody in the room right now. She's standing right beside Bull. Kosia, can you come on camera? I don't know if she can hear me.
You might have to unmute.
Okay, she's coming on camera now.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
No.
Sorry, we had some.
Don't worry, Kosia. No pressure. So I told Kosia this morning, just a few minutes before the podcast, that she would be coming on and telling us what her ideas are. Kosia, so what are your ideas? And keep in mind, Watering Can was created by 3 admin assistants ago, who is now assistant to the county manager. So this is a lot of pressure for you, Kosia. So keep that in mind. This could wind up with you being the assistant to the county manager. You don't know, or maybe even have you in the White House. Let's see where this goes, Kosia. So
or she can come
lots of pressure.
Okay, so one of the ideas I had was a Spanish class. I feel like every now and then we get the occasional call where if someone is a Spanish speaking person and we're not able to really communicate with them in the way that we would like to. And I feel like not only would a Spanish class be beneficial for the community, but for some of us that work with the county as well, and just being able to communicate with others better.
Okay.
I also had a crochet / knitting class.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of like just the younger generation and older generation have been getting into crocheting. I've been seeing people on TikTok crochet like prom dresses and stuff. And even I myself, I have a crochet kit, but I feel like it's hard to watch it on YouTube. So I feel like an in-person class would be really good for people that are just more so like visual learners and are more hands-on.
Mm. She
And then
took
I
notes
had,
for this.
yes, I have my notes. And then I have a bingo night program. I feel like that would just be fun for all ages.
I want to play. I want to play. I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
And then I also had a craft / book swap. So basically, if people have like collections of books or just like homemade items that they've made over the years, if they're not necessarily wanting to sell it, but just swap items with other people that may have things that they've made, I feel like we should do something like
That's
that.
a great
People can
idea.
exchange ideas and yeah.
That's a
And
great idea.
thank you.
Keep going.
Okay, and then lastly, I had a upcycle jewelry making class.
What?
So upcycle
You're
jewelry
on a
making?
bicycle?
No, upcycled jewelry making.
That's what I'm talking
So
about. You're on a bicycle making jewelry? Like,
no, basically is so you can go to like a thrift store and get old jewelry, and basically you kind of take apart that jewelry and put together new pieces with the jewelry that you got, if that makes sense.
so where does the bicycle come in at?
I didn't say bicycle. I said upcycle.
So what type of cycle is that? Is that like a, you know what? We'll talk later. It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. We'll talk about that later. The important thing is, Kosia came on here to share her ideas, and this is how we get our new ideas. But this, what's about to happen next, is how we make these programs happen. So people come up with ideas. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're at in your staff, what department you work in. We want you to share your ideas, but there's a second part to that. Congratulations, Kosia. You have 3 weeks to learn Spanish. You'll start the program then. All right. So good job, Kosia. Thanks for sharing. Let's
Thank
bring Bull
you.
back on camera.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
Sophia, don't forget to make
3
a
weeks.
list. Don't forget to make a list for Bryan after you get it running.
Yeah, we'll need to know what resources you need and everything, and we'll get that to Bryan.
So I actually have a story.
Kosia's ready to come up to Fairview right now as we speak. She's going to turn in her resume, and she headed
Hey, we did not say that. That was not part of the idea.
We're going to
That
start a
was
Spanish
not
speaking
part of the
class
deal.
at Fairview.
I'm investing a lot of time in Kosia. You can't have her.
Thomas, I got a story about Kosia. One day,
Okay, tell your story, and then we got to go to our tradition.
I'll do it quick. I was in the conference room one day, and she was on the phone, and she was talking to someone that was speaking Spanish, and she didn't know what to do. She put them on hold, and she called me in there. And so I do speak a little Spanish, not enough to be teaching any of y'all classes or anything like that, but just enough to be dangerous. So we were able to get her child registered for day camp because I was able to speak broken Spanish. So she's right. There are a lot of people that call it there asking about that in a different language.
Well, in 3 weeks, she's going to be fluent in Spanish. We just gave her the directive. She's got this. I have no doubt that she can do it. But Craig, I think you have a tradition that you want us to do, right?
Yeah. So we have a question that is left by our a previous guest for each additional show, and so then maybe after that, if you answer this one, y'all can leave one for the next victim tomorrow. So the question we'll have today is: if you were a piece of playground equipment, what would it be and why? And I can start it off that you should be one of those 14-foot stainless steel playground equipment slides that I grew up on, that you have not experienced life or death until you've got 20 kids pushing you over the edge, going down there at 100 miles an hour and wondering how there's no dead kids all around the bottom of the slide. But that would
in
be
100-degree weather with the sun shining right down on the metal. And Katrina,
And
go ahead.
nobody ever
Let's
got
play it.
burned. Nobody got burned, by the way, just for the record.
It's because you were traveling 60 miles an hour down this slide and you didn't have time.
You didn't have time to get burned. Yeah, that's exactly right. So Katrina, what piece of playground equipment would you be and why?
Let's see. Well, I was going to go with slide, but since he called you a slide, I don't want to be compared to his analogy of the slide. So I'm going to go with the this merry-go-round, like the one at Locust Grove. And that's because I may come around each year to do a different event, but each time I'm going to be hanging off of it a different way. Kind of like Maggie. She might be on top of it. She might be by an arm, by a leg, but it may go in circles, but it's always different.
The point is you keep going. Donna, your piece of playground equipment and why?
Well, we've been looking at new playgrounds for a couple of our parks, and the one that's been calling to me lately is a new swing set that they have that, depending on how you swing, it also makes music. So you have all this different music going each time that you swing, and I believe that's what I would want to be.
Awesome. I love that. What about you, Bryan?
I think I would have to be a playground repair kit. I think is what I would have to do.
Playground repair kit. I could see that. Speaking of that, we have a slide that has an issue. You know what? We'll talk about it later. Bull, your piece of playground equipment and why?
Why? The seesaw, so I could throw Thomas off the other end of it. Pretty much it.
Wow. KP, your piece of equipment.
The monkey bars. We all, when we was little and growing up, we always was trying to jump up on the monkey bar. We wasn't never tall enough to just stand there and grab them, but always trying to reach and jump up on top of the monkey bar because we always trying to reach and achieve goals that we feel that may not be attainable, but we always trying to jump and achieve those sights and vision that we have put out there.
That was great. I think of the piece of musical equipment that you're starting to see in playgrounds now, everything from the xylophone to different stringed instruments that are coming up in playgrounds, which I'm a big fan of. I think I would be that piece because I am the music in all their hearts. I am the one that keeps them together and flowing, and I'm happy to be y'all's music. I'm happy to be y'all's music. But I think we're supposed to leave a question for you, right? And I think KP has one. I didn't tell him he had one, but I'm telling him now. What's your question, KP?
We could just tell.
Let's see, question to leave behind. That's a good question.
Well, look, while we're waiting on him because I know he's got like several, so he's having to choose between a few that he has. But while we have Bull and Katrina on, because they're kind of special guests, not as special as Thomas, but still special in their own right. Maybe you can tell me about the proudest accomplishment in your career. Like, has there been any career-defining moments that this one really just was a home run for you that you'd like to highlight? And then we come back to KP.
And feel free to feature me in that in any way.
Yeah, being able to deal with Thomas every day, and he's your go-to person. Man, it's an awesome, outstanding, never forgetful event that you would have. I mean, meeting
That's true.
And honesty is the best policy for this guy. I mean, he is so brutally honest about everything he talks about. But no, on the real
I never give you political answers at all, ever.
Exactly. But the most rewarding part is I've been here 21 years, and just to watch the change and see how things have developed and how the county has grown. And Bryan been here with the trenches, because Donna been here for the dinosaurs and all that stuff. And just watching the change in the atmosphere, just watching the growth of the facility, the parks. Our department went from about probably 10 people doing everything to now we have, several. I don't even know how many people we actually have working, but several. And just watching the growth of the people that have come back into the program is my most, loved experience about being a Henry County employee.
Fantastic. Katrina?
So I'll have to piggyback off that because the growth has been a thing, but I guess my personal accomplishment is as I got older, I was very comfortable in serving in my little way when I was helping somebody have a great event or doing this small thing. And now I've grown and Thomas has pushed me where here I am, did this today. And I've spoke, I've taught classes, and I continue to grow every day. And all of these guys, right, all of these faces help me do that and have encouraged me to do that. So it's not just the community that grows. We all continue to grow together too.
Yeah. And then, Bull, if you ever have anything that you really need to talk about and just get off your chest, Donna has a therapy session that I think is pretty regular. Of course, Bryan is usually booked three appointments a day, 7 days a week. So you have to squeeze in between his time there.
Bryan, let me know what's going on.
I get off the couch and I call Bull and double down.
So, KP, what's your question?
My question is, given a blank canvas, paint your ideal park and rec system.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And actually, one of my first guests on the show wrote a children's storybook about, it's kind of like build your own park. And it just shows how, and it's like a children's book, how you can just put together a park. And I know that's a real proud moment of a lot of people in Parks and Rec, is sometimes they're given just an open piece of land and it's just an open canvas. And so that's a great question. Great question, Kevin.
So
All right.
I know you're about to do your outro, Craig, but before you do, we just want to say thank you to DPRS Media and for you for bringing this system, this media out to Parks and Rec professionals. A lot of times our field, it's we work in silence. We don't look for the credit. I do, but most everybody else doesn't look for the credit. And we work quietly, and you're really shining a light to that. And we just want to say thanks to DPRS Media for bringing that out, for you, the doorman, bringing that out. And most importantly, JP, it may be time to give up basketball. Back to you, Craig.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And I would just encourage everyone listening and everyone on stage here to please be open to telling your story, because it is so compelling and so powerful. And in a world where people often have to wait to retirement to give back to their community, you have brought young people on stage to show that on day one, you can really start making a difference, leaving a legacy, affecting your community, and you can spend the best years of your life dedicating 30, 40 years of your life to giving back and not have to wait to retirement to do something in a nonprofit kind of way. And it really is such a great industry and career path that, I encourage all young people to give it a shot, go volunteer, and just recognize that most every kid in America spends time at a parks department, either as their first job or in youth sports or anything like that, and yet never considers this as a career path. It blows my mind. And I think one of the ways to solve that is just to have people like y'all on stage, just, telling people your why and what drives you and why this is such an industry that you're so passionate about, you dedicate your life to. So keep up the great work. And I'm so glad that y'all agreed to do this monthly and share your leadership team and what y'all do. So my hat's off to y'all. Thank y'all so much. But with that being said, I want to give the big heart. Hold on, here we go. No, this is the better one. That's
There you go. Teamwork. We got it figured out. Thank you so much, Craig.
Yeah. Y'all have an awesome week. Keep up the great work. I'll see y'all next month.
See you.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Welcome to DPRS Media Co., the first media company built for the people behind the Parks and Rec community. We don't just cover on Parks and Rec, we elevate it, we amplify it, we honor it. At the heart of everything we do is one mission: to serve the public servants, the professionals who design, maintain, and lead the parks that shape our communities. Under the daily Parks and Rec show, we produce 6 powerful platforms. Leadership in Parks and Rec, a spotlight on directors, superintendents, and visionaries shaping the future of public spaces. Facility maintenance, where the boots hit the ground. A deep dive into the systems, crews, and craftsmanship that keep our parks clean, safe, and beautiful. Young Professionals Network, shining a light on the next generation of Parks and Rec. Students, interns, and mentors sharing how we build a legacy together. Youth Sports Mastery, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. This series is for coaches, parents, and rec leaders working to make youth sports fun, fair, and meaningful again. The Rec Room, hosted by the passionate leaders of Henry County Parks and Rec. This show brings frontline energy and real-life stories from the field. And the weekly Parks and Rec Post, our official newsletter delivering stories, insights, and community wins every week. We are DPRS Media Co. LLC, a media company with a mission to uplift the professionals who serve every community, every park, every day.